Welcome to the Complete Story series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read them dramatically back to you, allowing you to understand your favorite superheroes and what's going on in the current comic book so that you can go buy the next issue, or you can check out more information on them. I turn it into a sort of motion comic, allowing you to experience it with epic music and me pretending that I know how to voice act. It's a fun experience for me, just deal with it. Anyway, today we're going to be covering Justice League issues 6 and 7, which is the conclusion to the Totality storyline that started right after Justice League No Justice. A lot of crazy things have happened in this storyline, and I cannot recap them all right here, so instead, we're going to give you short recaps as to how we got to where we are as we enter that part of the storyline in the video. So I hope you guys enjoy, because it gets crazy at this point. At the end of DC Metal, everything went insane for the Justice League, and during the event No Justice, they discovered just how bad things had gotten. With the destruction of the Source Wall, magic was going crazy, the Lantern powers had been revealed, and we had other things happening such as the Still Force. I'll explain what each of these points are as we go through, but you are now at the conclusion of the Totality storyline. As Umbrax, the Ultraviolet Lantern sun, inches closer to Earth, it slowly begins to absorb and transform its energy. You see, Sinestro had discovered a different spectrum, a totally different thing from the Green Lantern and the emotional spectrum. And among that was the ultra-violent core. And recently, he joined that core, and he forced John Stewart to join it as well. Now down in the Hall of Justice, Cyborg and John Stewart watch, and John says they need to do something. Sinestro is pulling half of the damned population into the ultraviolet core. Cyborg tells him it's worse than that. Umbrax is infecting its target's primal life forces, the red and the green. If we don't act fast, then the Earth will become a living evil planet. John then asks, can we try calling for help from the multiverse? Cyborg says that they can try. Just then there's a loud boom coming from outside, and Sinestro calls to John, telling him, I'm coming for you! You killed a whole planet. The hate that you hide inside, the guilt, the energy. Your potential is limitless. Come and join the Ultraviolet Corps. You could become the most powerful Lantern ever, Warrior Supreme even. All you have to do is embrace it. Meanwhile, inside of the Totality, Lex Luthor and Joker have taken control of Superman and Martian Manhunter's bodies. In order to get close to the Totality, only two individuals could withstand the forces that the Totality was putting out, and that is Superman and Martian Manhunter. Inside of them, we had a shrunken down Batman and Hawkgirl going for the ride, but Lex and Joker also snuck into the bloodstreams of Superman and Martian Manhunter, and now have taken control of their bodies. And they find themselves steps away from their goal. Lex looks at the Totality, knowing that it wants him to take it. He even starts to reach out for it, and then something reaches back. Batman punches through the glass, grabbing and throwing Lex out of the cockpit, causing Lex to release his grip on the cosmic doorknob. Lex asks him how. Superman's cell should have eaten you by now. And Batman tells him, I have a kryptonite ring. Mutated or not, it's still Superman's DNA. Lex then asks him, really? You brought a kryptonite ring inside of Superman? With friends like you, who needs enemies? Lex activates his shoulder cannon, but Bruce rolls forward, jumping up, punching Lex square in the jaw. Back in the underwater Legionnaire's base, Flash struggles to get up, telling Grodd, stop this! Grodd is currently in control of the Still Force, brought by the baby turtle that Grodd has strapped to his chest. The Still Force has the ability to shut down the Speed Force, defeating the Flash. Grodd asks, why on earth would I do that? I've spent years dreaming of this moment. It's impressive, really. The amount of speed inside of you to even move a single muscle against the Still Force, to fight through the cosmic essence of stasis. Keep it up and you might reach the door in a century or two. If you survive the implosion, of course. As Grodd turns and walks away, he calls out to Black Manta and Cheetah, asking if they've gotten what they came for. Black Manta and Cheetah look upon their newly discovered artifacts, the key to the Graveyard of the Gods and the Tear of Extinction. Manta picks up the tear, stating, yes, we've located what we needed. Back inside of Superman, Batman pins Lex to the ground, and Lex shouts to the Joker, I'm gonna need a hand over here. The Joker laughs as he begins to turn Martian Manhunter's fingers into tendrils, and he reaches into Superman through his eyes. Joker tells Superman, I really hope you don't mind. I'm just trying to pick your brain a bit. One tendril shoots in, cutting away at Batman's side, and Batman calls out to Hawkgirl, stating, We can't let Lex get his hands on the doorknob. We need to do something now. Before he could finish, Hawkgirl pulls herself up from the floor, cracking Joker in the head, telling him, I got your punchline right here. Hawkgirl then takes control of the probe, with Batman struggling with Lex to claim the doorknob. Lex manages to snatch the doorknob before Batman can, and he asks, Can you feel it? The power in my hand. It is only a fraction of what I will soon claim. You thought your friend Martian Manhunter was the key to this whole thing? You thought it was him who was destined to hold the totality? He's not. Now let me show you how small and fragile you are. Lex holds out the doorknob, releasing its power onto Batman. Batman screams as his limbs are bent and snapped. And Lex tells him, Can't you see? Good, now you may go. Seconds later, Batman, Superman, and Martian Manhunter are teleported back to the Hall of Justice. Martian Manhunter is the first to wake up, and he says, Lex, he beat us to it, but where is Hawkgirl? As the heroes look over their situation, the frustration begins to set in. John shouts, You should have told me about the invisible spectrum, the exact opposite of the emotional spectrum. And Martian Manhunter tells him, You should have told me about your doubts. And Flash says, You're the one who opened up the door. John asks, What are we supposed to do? Umbrax's energy is saturating the Earth. I can feel it. Hell, I'd be a part of Sinestro's ultraviolet core if it wasn't for Cyborg blocking him. Cyborg tells him, Actually, I'm not blocking him. I've got every ounce of power in the shields. There's only one person controlling it, and that's you. John steps back and tells him, Yes, I can feel it. What are these ancient forces being unlocked? The still force, the invisible spectrum. What if we're not supposed to fight them? Martian Manhunter asks, Are you stating that we stop battling these powers and let them in, use them? If we can connect enough people, break Sinestro's hold. John tells him, Yes, I can show you how to use the emotions fueling the invisible spectrum, accept them and turn them into a strength. I might not be a Green Lantern anymore, but maybe I can light this path. Question is, how the hell do we get around the whole planet fast enough to show them all at the same time? Flash radios in asking, The real question is, can you drive stick? A few moments later, John gets into the car that the Flash was designing, and Superman gives them a little push. John begins racing around the world, while Martian Manhunter sends out a scream to everyone lost in the grip of darkness that took the light. Look at it, because it shows the truth, and the truth is, Lex Luthor was right. Their nature may be cruel and small and full of fear at things that they will never understand, but perhaps if they acknowledge this together, if only for a moment, they might climb higher than they were supposed to someplace new, to someplace surprising. But back with Lex as he stands before the totality, getting ready to open up its door, Hawkgirl grips her mace as she jumps forward, ready to strike Lex. John radios back that something isn't right. The light that is starting to shine, it's not green, it's, my God. As the light returns to the planet, the bright symbol of the White Lanterns shines throughout space. Back at the totality, Lex focuses the doorknob's power on Hawkgirl and he asks, Why does it not work on you? Your wings? Why are they glowing like that? What is your connection to all of this? With all of the lives that you've lived, you must have learned something. Hawkgirl pushes through the attack, telling him, Yeah, she did learn a few things, like how to perfect her swing. She bashes Lex, sending him flying, and she says, If you were smart, you'd stay down. Stand, and I'm gonna kill you. Lex gets back up, hitting Hawkgirl, yelling, No! Whatever the hell it is, I'm taking the totality. It's calling to me. I can hear something inside. Back over with John, his car suddenly stops as Sinestro appears before him, creating a construct roadblock, launching him out of the driver's seat. Sinestro then asks, Do you really think that your plan worked? All you've done is doomed the lives of millions, as you did on Zanshi. A construct of Hal Jordan flies out of Sinestro's ring, asking John, Why? Why did you do it again? Sinestro goes on stating, Life on this planet is powered by the dark and secret desires. Earth's meant to become a part of Umbrax, the ultraviolet core. But now, because of your stunt, Umbrax's planetary army will unleash its full power on Earth. Of course, the Force will destroy most of the population. John yells, No! I won't lose Earth! Superman looks up into the sky and says that all of the planets surrounding Umbrax, they look as though they're powering up and they're getting ready to fire on the Earth. Cyborg tells him to stand down. They're radiating more electromagnetic energy than is even quantifiable. In this state, there's no way that we could. But that's when a loud foom comes over the radio and Cyborg asks, What went foom? Did you just... All of the planets outside of Earth's orbit begins to charge up and fire down on Earth. Sinestro laughs, asking John if he can see it. He's done nothing but damn his own kind. And so, the League does what it always does and they fight. Aquaman sets out to hold Grodd on the other's back as Flash tries to contain the still force. John pushes Sinestro back with every fiber of his being, and Hawkgirl stabs Lex in the back before he could touch the door. Flash slows every cell in his body to attune to the still force, and then There he was, the center of everything. Terror grips over him, and yet, at that very moment, standing outside of all physics, he feels what Vandal Savage felt all of those years ago, a desire to turn back, to hide from what he saw. For better or for worse, it is not who he is or who they are. And so he pushes on, and suddenly there is nothing. Umbrax is gone. Sinestro looks into the sky, asking, "What have you and your friends done? I would have made you a paladin in the greatest corps in the universe. You should have known better. All John Stewart will ever be is a foot soldier." John fights through the grip of the ultraviolet constructs as a green light shines, stating, "Actually, I'm also an architect." At that moment, a giant green skyscraper slams down onto Sinestro. Back at the Totality, Hawkgirl reaches out and Lex shouts, "No! The Totality is calling to me. It calls too." But as the light washes over the two of them, Lex blinks and he finds himself in the Legion of Doom halls. And Joker looks at him, telling him, "Ha ha ha! Welcome home. Let's hope the others had better luck, huh?" Lex grinds his teeth, telling him, "Call them back now." Later, at the Hall of Justice, Martian Manhunter looks at the Totality, and Martian Manhunter says that it's thanks to Hawkgirl that they've been able to do this, so what do we do now? Make no mistake, this mission that we are on, the fate of the multiverse, is at stake. Everything that we love hangs in the balance. Our enemies, we know now that we are up against the Legion of Doom. This Legion believes that the true shape of the multiverse, its destiny, hidden inside of the Totality, inside of us all, is evil. However, we do not. Let them be Legion. We will be a whole universe united against them. We will unlock the answers before them and use them to win. Even if those answers change everything that we know, everything, we will not change. That is why I will return to Thanagar Prime to find out what the Martian Keeper of Memory is hiding. I would like Hawkgirl and John to accompany me. John looks at his Green Lantern ring and he says he's not sure. This ring just appeared on him and he'd rather not let them down. Martian Manhunter tells him that he should have recruited him himself. He should have let him see how he had forgiven him for Zanshi so long ago. He just simply hadn't forgiven himself. John hugs Martian Manhunter, telling him, "Thanks, old friend." Martian Manhunter then says that he has fears, though, that if they open up the Totality and they learn that the inevitable ending to everything is cruel, that the universe and life were meant to be something dark and predatory, what are they to hold everything back? What are they as villains? What does the Justice League do if it finds out that it is on the wrong side of everything? Superman tells him, "Simple. But Batman speaks over him, telling him, "We justice harder." Flash laughs, telling him, "Now that's a Batman voice." And just then there's a loud boom, and from within the Hall of Justice, a beaten and battered man appears before them. The man tells them that his name is Starman. He's come from the past, and he has all the answers that they seek, but to learn them, 3 of them must die. Meanwhile, back at the Legion of Doom's hideout, Lex knows that he underestimated his enemies, and he can come to terms with this fact. He thought the Totality would aid him in some way, but the test was more than that. He understands it now. He walks down the hallway and he says, "You were right, I do need your help." And with that, there's a slight laugh. And the Batman who laughs says, "I never thought you'd ask." Justice League Totality is concluded. It's incredible. I love Scott Snyder writing the Justice League, and now we finally get a little bit of breathing room now that the storyline is concluded. But what did you think about the first 7 issues that we've covered on this channel? Keep in mind, Scott Snyder has stated that he is trying to write it almost like an old cartoon show, which is why I'm bringing you 1 to 3 issues at a time, to give you more of a weekly to every other week experience with the Justice League, something you can look forward to. It's what I'm hoping for with this. And if you are looking forward to it and this is working, let me know in the comments down below. Or if you prefer that we just wait 3 months and give you 6 issues all at once, tell me that instead, and we may go back to doing it that way. Either way, what did you think about the insanity that is the Totality, the Still Force, the crazy artifacts that Black Manta and Cheetah have now? What did you think about the whole Lex Luthor taking over the body of Superman? And what about the Batman who laughs showing up at the ending? There's a lot of questions, a lot of things to discuss, and I really want to know your guys' opinions on all of this, so please let me know in the comments down below, or you can join me on twitch.tv/EligibleMonster when Dan and I review these comic books every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and you can just chat with us live as we go through these comic books. Either way, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe for more Justice League!